Good evening, everyone. Delgear21 here, and this is me giving my final thoughts on the Plants vs. Zombies multiplayer beta, or more specifically, Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare 2. Now, as you all know, on the 14th, the developer of Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare, Top Cat Games, released a beta for the upcoming third-person slash tower defense game Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare 2. Now, as a result, of this, we were able to try out 3 new classes on each side, as well as to see what was changed in terms of the old characters, what was returning, what was going away, all that kind of stuff, and see if there was any improvements from the previous game. Now, while I did enjoy the first Garden Warfare, I didn't play it much to know the depth, the depth. Ugh, I cannot pronounce words to save my life. The depth of changes done from the first one to this one. Now, in terms of the 3 new classes, Gun of Horn, Rose, and the don't hate me if I fuck the name up, or fuck pronouncing the name up, but K or Kaichon? I think that's how you pronounce the arms? The orange class for the plants? And for the zombies, the new classes for the Imp, Super Brains, and Captain Dreadbeard. Now, each of these 3 classes were different in their own way. Captain Dreadbeard had his main ability was able to send a little pirate parrot drone into the sky, similar to how Cactus can send the onion one. And in the pirate, one thing I found out during beta is if you went into his LB ability, which puts him into an explosive barrel, and say a chomper comes up from behind you, or tries to swallow you whole using his main ability, he eats up the barrel instead of you. And plus, he's slowed after that too, as if he ate, an actual player. And then finally, for Dreadbeard's final ability, he has this mandatory, this pirate-like cannon, which he can summon at a destination similar to what's his name on France? The pecan, or the Pichu. Similar to his main ability, except he only has a limited number of shots. Dreadbeard, for my playtime, overall was, pretty fun. I enjoyed using him, and it's a great new character. But let's move on to another character, Super Brains. Now, Super Brains is like a superhero type for zombies. He has his 2 main ways of attack, and he's like the meleeer for the zombies. Similar to how the Chomper is the meleeer for, the plants. The classes that deal with going up close and personal in terms of dealing damage. Now, his 3 main abilities are he can send a Hadouken-like blast to hurling at an enemy, and you can do that mid-air as well, which is his LB ability. His RB ability, however, is like a charge. If he's on the ground, he does a forward kick that sends him a couple feet in front of him. Not that far, but it'll hit an enemy if it's in front of you. or if the enemy is in front of you. And its final ability, if you are familiar with Zhongyi's little tornado spin or Hagar spin, then you'll be familiar with Super Brain's Y ability. The final class is the Imp. Now this one's kind of unique, as while the Imp, I think, has the least amount of health, he can do a lot of damage. Here's why. His LB abilities fires an orb-like projectile that, once it impacts the ground, creates a rattle field. If it hits an enemy, that enemy will be in the center of this field, which there's a certain area around it. Obviously, the area where the grenade or impacted, and they cannot move. They can still shoot, but they cannot move, nor can they use any of their abilities. His RV ability is an Impalata, which has him go rapid fire spinning for a few feet. Now he can stay in one spot and do it, or he can move while it's going off. And that's where I got most of my kills when I was playing as him. But the main ability for him lets him summon a mech. Now, determining on what type of class, what variant the Imp is, or variant will change the way the mech works. There was two I was able to get there. One was a Pycone type of thing, which essentially shot rocket launchers instead of the typical laser glass. And this variant of the mech, unlike the other one, was able to drop little mines that can detonate, and has a soldier charge compared to the regular Imps, which only has rocket launchers and I can't remember what the other one was, because I've been using just the other variants set instead of the default one once they became available to me to use. Now let's go over to the plant side of things. Chemical corn is, I guess you would say, the secondary soldier type for plants. He has machine gun corn that he fires, and his primary modes are: he's able to call an air strike with his LB ability. He'll toss a area effect grenade, which upon landing, wherever it lands, it'll call in some strikes from air. So RV ability has him charge up his corn cannons, and they will, similar to how the soldier's rocket launcher is. That's in the terms of damage. His Y ability has him leaping into the air, shooting towards the ground beneath him, and then landing, a little ways away. Essentially a backflip shooting at the ground type of thing. Rose is probably one of the more unique characters, as in the turf takeover mode. How the engineer can summon teleport, right? Well, the Rose can do so for the plants in Garden Warfare 2. But that's not all. She has 3 abilities. Ability 1, which is LB, is an area effect type of thing. Once fired, when it hits an area, if an enemy happens to be within that area, they are slowed, and similar to the Imp's grenade, they cannot use their abilities. Her RV ability actually transforms Zombie, if hit, into a boat. And they only have one means of attack, because all the other abilities don't do shit. except make you a target. An easy target at that. And her main ability, the Y ability, enables her to temporarily transform into like a spectral form, and has a limited amount of time in it, and can fire off 2 blasts that deal damage. And then finally we got Crytron, which you saw me fail to take out the teleport of the zombies. He has 3 main abilities. He has a stun grenade, which temporarily stuns the enemy from using their abilities, slows them down, you know, that type of thing. His RV ability, which is probably the more unique ability out of everybody on planets, allows him to summon a shield that's in front of him that soaks up some damage while he's, you know, while it's active, and that can remain active. It's not a limited timer type thing, and I don't think it should. The next ability, though, I think should have a timer as to how long you beat it, and that's the ability that allows him to transform into a ball-like form and able to dash around, you know, the map. You can stay in it for an infinite amount of time, and I don't think you should be able to, because I've done a few of the games where I was on zombies. They just overran, like 4 of them, and the rest of the players on the plant side just playing, you know, the normal plants. Because they can go around so much, it takes area of effect abilities like the Impalata and, you know, some of our abilities in that sense to actually hit it, to hit the Tritron while they're moving. I had to use the Engineer's RP ability, his drill, to actually keep up with one. And even then, like, his drill ability has a, you know, limited timer on that, which I think should be the same timer for Crytron's ball. Now, outside of that, the ball form only has 2 abilities, like his regular form. One ability increases his speed for a limited amount of time, similar to how the Pea Shooter has his RV ability. And lastly, his Crytron's RV ability has him spinning in place rapidly for a few seconds and then just charging in the one direction. You know, the direction in front of him. Okay, now that characters are out of the way, let's talk about the variants. The variants, you know, they all have returned, I'm sure, from the previous game, while each of the 3 new classes have varying variants as well. The Imp has, as I mentioned before, has a Pyclone form that instead of blasters, he's got little grenade launchers that go some distance. And obviously, it also changes mech. This is the Mass Effect Inspired one, which I was able to play. Which I was actually able to play and use during the beta, because they made it a hero showcase type of thing. Now, obviously, the classes have, you know, ones where they can freeze enemies, and they even freeze them in place after you hit them long enough, fire, all that type of shit. Now, in terms of the game modes, Team Vanquish, you know, that's classic team deathmatch. They got a little take on Kill Confirmed, if you're familiar with it in Call of Duty. And it's called Vanquish Confirmed. Instead of tags, you pick up orbs. Colored to each side. Normal Bomb's back, and I had fun playing that. And then Subordination, which is domination for this game. that was all fun, but the most fun I had playing was in Turf Takeover. There were 2 maps, you know, on each of the modes. On Turf Takeover, however, there was one map where the zombies are attacking and the plants are defending, like you're seeing in, you know, this gameplay here. And then there's another one where the zombies are the ones defending. And it's the plants that are attacking. Now, obviously, it's not that there was only 4 maps available in the beta. However, the maps were restricted. You know, 2 for Turf Takeover and 2 for the other modes that were shown you know, shown outside of Turf Takeover. Now, overall, I had fun. You know, I think the last time I played this, I don't really remember having that much of a good time playing because I just kept getting wrecked for 1, and it was, you know, not enjoyable. I played this, and I had a lot of fun in both Turf Takeover and Subordination. I've mentioned some things I think they should change and all that. There was one thing that really messed up the map, but that happened to me during the video. But I can attune it to, maybe it's because it's the beta and it's going by the servers, because, you know, there's still some things you can't really access, obviously, in the beta. Now, last but not least, you know, final thoughts. I definitely say, you know, if you want a fun game to play that isn't Call of Duty, you know, that isn't Battlefield, that isn't Blood and Gore, all that type of stuff, then I'd recommend probably picking this up when it comes out on February 23rd. This game will come out on the PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC. Now, it does have its... One other thing to note, it does have its single-player content in the form of the Backyard Battleground. I never did recordings related to that, but I just did that all off. Or off recording. Yeah. But yeah, obviously, you know, I don't know if you'll have fun as much fun as I did anyway. But it's definitely enjoyable, as I do recommend for rent or a buy at the least. Now, there were some things that were blocked in the beta because there wasn't full games. So there were things in the full game you'll be able to find out. Anyway, I think that's everything. Oh yeah, there's more customizable stuff too. But that's about it. Anyway, this is Devil Gear 21, giving you all my final thoughts on the Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare beta. The platform I played on was Xbox One. I had fun, enjoyed the time playing it. I will definitely get this game as soon as I can. But yeah, this is Devil Gear 21, signing out. See ya!